Hi, this is a quick overview of the Ultra96-V2 web server app that runs on the Ultra96. I'm running the out of box, the Ultra96-V2 out of box image on this, and not the Petalinux one, but the one that just is the basic one you can get from the Ultra96 page. And so I've already connected to it through the Wi-Fi on my computer here. And then you go to the IP address that's listed up here, the 192.168.2.1, and then that brings up the home page. And on here it shows some example projects. You can play with the LEDs, some custom content. They have some, you can edit some things with this. There's some tutorials for the package manager, some custom content, more tutorials, which take you back to tutorials. And then a Wi-Fi setup. I'm not going to cover that, but you can set this board up to connect to your own Wi-Fi so you can connect to it remotely without having uh, to do it through its web server or connect it through a UART or something like that. So if we click on the GPIO area, it pops up into the Ultra96V2 GPIO LEDs. So there are 4 LEDs. Let's see if I can point this out. I have this board maybe backwards. I don't know. I was trying to figure out the easiest way to do this. But there's the blinking LED right there, which is basically a heartbeat. And then there's 3 other LEDs that could be utilized for different things. There's one that's already lit, I think. And then you have the other various LEDs on the board, but those are the 4 that we're going to be concerned with. That's basically in between the 2 USB ports. And here's the image of the Ultra96V2, which I did find interesting, which I find this on some of the other docs and then this one. But you've got this image right here of this burnt out power input right here. I don't know. I'm kind of a little leery about showing burnt out stuff on a product you're trying to promote because that kind of makes me nervous. Is this thing going to burn up on me or what? So we'll see if we can let the magic smoke out of this at one point. I don't know. That just seems ugly. Okay, so if we scroll down a little bit, we have the 4 LED controls that we have here. There's some instructions too that tell you what each one option there is. So there's a heartbeat, so you can get the heartbeat powered by Linux. You know, see it's still active. There's a backlight if you have an LCD connected. GPIOs, so if you have some activity on the GPIOs, and then the 4 different cores for the CPU that's on there, the ARM core, and then for the Wi-Fi transmit and receive. And so up here, so it's got a blinking LED, we can go ahead and turn that off. And then if we go back, set the heartbeat up again, and it goes there. So the next one we can just set for whatever. Um, let's see what would be interesting. I don't know. CPU core 0. Not quite sure if you can see that. It seems very difficult. It's not very clear. And then maybe for, let's see, phi transmit, phi receive. I'm not quite sure. If I put everything to RF kill, if I do a reset on that, I don't know if it's set it or not. I think we get the heartbeat still. And this is 0. This is transmit. This is receive. I don't quite sure. Oh, yeah, I don't see too much activity on there. So yeah, there's a little bit of that, and then some instructions there. So if we go back to home, you know, there's custom content you can go into, and you can upload a file. You can edit the web app. You can create a project. So I've already done that. So if you create a project, it has a little Python interface here. They already have a canned one here. So if we just save that file to say Ultra 96 example. I'm gonna call it 2 because I think I already did one. QI. Can you even see that pop up? Oh, okay, yeah, I think so. And then save it, and then you could scroll down a little bit. You can run it. And there's your hello world with the extra characters in it. Not quite sure why it chose that, but that's what they chose. And then you can create a custom project as well. Let's go back to home. So we got custom content. So you got DNF right here. So package manager shows you how to create basically a RPM package that you can install and run and then remove on the host. And then your custom content. So you can upload custom files, custom web pages, some projects. So it has instructions on how to do that, and then a tutorial, more tutorials, which takes you back to custom content, run an example project. So which basically takes you back to the LEDs, that, and then using the Ultra 96, well, uses web app, the mini DP, UART, SSH, so has that information. And this bit of information right here, I wish I had previously, because I went through a bunch of different things, and the mini DP, I didn't go to DP. I went mini DP to HDMI, which is this, which requires an active. So this one, active mini DP to HDMI. So that's sort of important. And they give 3 examples. I might have used something else, but I did find a cable that works, and then I had to get another monitor as well because you need a 1080p monitor to run some of the examples for the camera. So if we go back up here again, so we went through the tutorials, and then have the Wi-Fi set up. So you can connect this to your Wi-Fi router if you want, and then you can have remote access to it. So I have not done that, but it looks like it's pretty straightforward. Let's go back to home. So that was what they have here, and you can see up at top they have other uh, example projects. They have other ones. You have the LEDs, but then you have the iPerf server. You can run a test on the server and the client side. There's an Echo Open. I think this will run, and I think it produces some output on the turn window up here. So if we go ahead and run this, yep, it should do something. There it goes. And there was an echo test. It ran through a series of echoes. I think they run like 400 tests, 471. And then no errors, around 0. So you can run that. What else was there? There's this open app matrix. That's another example you can run. And then it runs through the output of this, creating URI threads. So it runs some threads and matrix and just kind of test to see if it actually can run. So that seems pretty interesting. So that ran there. Go back, click twice, and then a proxy. I'm not going to run all these. So you have different examples that you can go through and check that out. Back up here, I think back to custom content, upload a file, edit the web app, and then create a project, which I've done a couple already. Oops. Then you got tutorials, back to these guys, configurations, web app boot. You can change how the web app functions, the Wi-Fi setup, change the root password on the system because it defaults to root, and then the package manager stuff again. You can update that. And then there's some information here on the board, the Ultra96-V2 Spec Specifications. So the specs on that for this. It has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, DisplayPort, mini DisplayPort, and all this other goody stuff kind of outlines there. And again, the burnt mark for the power. So that board was not functional when they were taking images of that. So it might have just been an extra board that they fried. And hey, let's take pictures of that. We'll show our board it can fry. That's cool. And let me see. That's about it. So I mean, there's some stuff you can do on here. You can play with it, and you can change it for your own uses, and set up your Wi-Fi. And that's probably something I'll end up doing, but not right now. So that's pretty much it, and that's all I got. So cheers.